Hi everyone, once again welcome back to our category wise current affair lectures, and today we will be discussing most important questions regarding business, economy and banking current affairs from past 60 days. So already I have told you that we have divided all the important current affairs, news and events into these 14 categories, and already in the previous lecture we have covered first category, that is government schemes, and today we will be covering the second category. Okay, so now let's start. Question number 1. What is the approximate annual growth rate of India's world market capitalization for the last 5 years? So India has been outperforming the global growth in market capitalization for the last 5 years at 14.7% annually against 13.25%. So your correct answer is option number C. Actually, in the month of June, India's share of the world market capitalization rose to 2.6%, which was more than the long-term average of 2.45% as per media reports. Also, India's market cap rose 66% in 1 year to $3.02 trillion last month, which was also higher than the 44% growth of global market cap. Okay, so the approximate annual growth rate of India's WMC is 14.7%. Question number 2. Mastercard has partnered with which fintech firm to launch the Mandate HQ platform? So global payments technology major Mastercard and fintech unicorn Razorpay have launched a platform named as Mandate HQ. Actually, it is a secure, recurring payment interface that reduces the time for any card issuing bank to enable the recurring payments for its customer. Also, it will help to get access to a large customer base who use debit cards. Apart from it, RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India, has recently issued a framework for processing of e-mandates on recurring online transactions. Okay. Question number 3. The RBI has asked the banks to phase out which benchmark rate mandatorily by December 31. So recently RBI has told the banks and other financial institutions to stop using LIBOR. What does it stands for? It is the London Interbank Offered Rate. And what is this? It is a type of interest rate average calculated from estimates that is to be submitted by the leading banks in London. So what happened is each bank estimates what it would be charged while borrowing from other banks, and the resulting average rate is usually called as this LIBOR. Okay, but now RBI has asked the banks to switch to any other ARR, that is alternative reference rate, as soon as possible, and it would be mandated by 31st of December. Also, MIFOR, that is Mumbai Interbank Forward Outright Rate, will also be scrapped. Why? Because it uses LIBOR as a benchmark. Then after phasing out of LIBOR, what would be the other alternatives? So it is SOFR, that is Secured Overnight Financing Rate, and SONIA means Sterling Overnight Interbank Average Rate. Okay, so these are some of the popular alternatives. Question number 4. The International Financial Services Centers Authority issued framework to set up ITFS platform. What does ITFS stand for? Actually, this IFSCA was set up to develop and regulate the financial products, the financial services and the financial institutions in the IFSCs, that is International Financial Services Centers. So recently it has issued a framework for setting up and operating ITFS platform, that is International Trade Finance Services. Actually, this will help the exporters and importers to avail various types of trade finance facilities for their international trade transactions. Okay. Question number 5. RBI has recently allowed which category of banks to apply for amalgamation with the promoter entities? So recently RBI has allowed small finance banks to apply for amalgamation with the promoter entities on completing their 5 years of operations. So do remember that Equitas Holding Limited and Ujjivan Financial Services said that they would initiate steps on the recent guidelines of RBI. And due to this step by the central bank, the shares of the small finance banks also rose. Question number 6. Which neighboring country is the first to adopt India's Bhim UPI payment system? So do remember that Bhutan becomes the very first nation to adopt India's UPI standard for its QR code, that is quick response code mechanism. Okay. Also, it is the second country and the first neighboring country to accept India's NPCI Bhim UPI at its merchant locations after Singapore. And what does Bhim stands for? It is Bharat Interface for Money, which is India's digital banking application based on UPI. Okay. Question number 7. Which institution launched a scheme to let retail investors participate in government securities market? So RBI has recently announced this RBI Retail Direct scheme that aims to facilitate investment in government securities by retail investors. So under this scheme, retail investors will have the facility to open and maintain the Retail Direct Gilt account, or you can say RDG account, with the RBI through an online portal. And the portal will give access to primary issuance of government securities and access to NDSOM, that is Negotiated Dealing System Order Matching. Fine. Question number 8. As per the RBI guidelines, what is the mandated method for replenishing cash in ATMs? So recently RBI has extended the deadline for banks to use only lockable cassettes for replenishing cash in ATMs till March 2022. Because at present most of the ATMs are replenished by way of open cash top-up or by loading cash directly in the machines on the spot. But after representations received from banks citing difficulties in moving towards the lockable cassette system, RBI has decided to extend the deadline for its implementation till March next year. Okay. Question number 9. RBI has barred MasterCard to onboard new customers in India due to non-compliance in. So recently RBI has barred the financial services company MasterCard from onboarding new customers in India. Why? On the grounds of non-compliance with the data localization and storage in India. And this restriction would not affect the existing customers of MasterCard, and the action has been initiated by RBI using the powers vested to it under Section 17 of the Payment and Settlement Systems Act 2007. Question number 10. India has opposed the move by developed countries at World Trade Organization to scrap subsidies in which sector? So India has recently opposed a move by developed countries at WTO to scrap subsidies for fishermen. Why? Because India demanded a balance between current and future fishing needs of developing countries as well as effective special and differential treatment. And India justifies its opposition that it wants the subsidies for low income, resource poor fishermen, while developed countries see this as a distortion in global fish markets. Okay. Question number 11. Which institution has set up an expert committee for the development of Longevity Finance Hub? So recently IFSCA, that is the International Financial Services Centers Authority, has set up an expert committee to recommend a strategy for the development of Longevity Finance Hub. And as per the global estimates, there are 1 billion people in the silver generation, and this generation describes individuals aged 60 years and older with a combined spending power of 15 trillion USD. So the hub aims to tap the potential in the sector, and it is co-chaired by Kaku Nakhate, Bank of America, and Gopalan Srinivasan, etc. Question number 12. As per the GST law, for how many years states were guaranteed to be compensated for the loss of revenue in GST implementation? So as per the GST law, states were guaranteed to be compensated bi-monthly for loss of revenue in GST implementation for 5 years from 1st of July 2017. Do remember that every year 1st of July is also celebrated as GST Day. So for this purpose, the government has borrowed and released 75,000 crore rupees to the states and union territories to compensate them for the shortfall in GST revenue. And this is in addition to normal GST compensation being released every 2 months out of actual cess collection. So this release aims to meet the resource gap due to the short release of compensation. So here correct answer is option number B. Question number 13. Which institution launched the expected loss based ratings for credit rating agencies? So as per the recent framework introduced by SEBI, credit rating agencies will now be required to provide expected loss based ratings for projects and instruments associated with the infrastructure sector. Actually, this expected loss based rating is divided into a scale of 7 levels, spanning from lowest to highest expected loss. And the instrument rated EL1, that is expected loss 1, will be considered to have the lowest expected loss compared to the life of EL7, which will indicate the highest expected loss. Fine. Now talking about SEBI, few days back it has said that there should be clear differentiation between the roles of chairperson and MD in any company. Okay. Question number 14. What is the revised limit for FDI investment in pension fund management under the NPS as of July 2021? So the Government of India has hiked the FDI limit in pension fund management under NPS, that is National Pension System, from 49% to now 74%. And this move is expected to make more players available in this sector. What does FDI stands for? It is Foreign Direct Investment. And currently 4 out of pension fund managers of NPS have significant foreign investments in them. And which are they? First is HDFC Pension Management. Second is ICICI Prudential Pension Funds. Third is Kotak Mahindra Pension Fund. And the last is Aditya Birla Sun Life. So these are the different 4 pension funds. Question number 15. With 608.99 billion USD worth of forex reserves, what is India's rank as largest forex reserves holder? So as of 25th of June 2021, India's forex reserves stood at $608.99 billion, making India the 5th largest foreign exchange reserve holder in the world. And who are ahead in this list? China, Japan, Switzerland and Russia. And as we know that India's forex reserve comprise of foreign currency of assets, gold, SDR, that is special drawing rights, and RTP, that is reserve tranche position in IMF. You have to tell me, where does the headquarter of IMF lie? Please write in the comment section. Question number 16. Approval for what quantum of additional government spending has been sought from the Parliament for the year 2021 to 22? So the Government of India has sought an approval from the Parliament of India for additional spending of 23,675 crore rupees for the financial year 2021 to 2022. And of this, 17,000 crore rupees would be for the additional expenditure to be made by the Union Health Ministry. And the bill for approval of additional expenditure was tabled in the Parliament by our Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. Question number 17. Which Indian company has issued $2 billion sustainability linked bonds? So it is AEML, that is Adani Electricity Mumbai Limited, which is a group company of Adani Transmission Limited, and it has proposed to set up global medium term notes bonds program for $2 billion. And this, along with sustainability linked bond issuance, is a part of the company's plan to raise capital of the company. Question number 18. Which is the major component of the India's foreign exchange reserves? So as per the RBI data, India's foreign exchange reserves rose by 835 million USD to touch a record high of $612.73 billion in the week ended in 16th of July 2021. Do remember that foreign currency asset is the major component of the overall reserves, and it rose by 463 million USD to 568.748 billion USD in the week. And talking about gold reserves, they were up by 377 million USD, and special drawing rights were up by 1 million USD. Question number 19. As per RBI's recent amendments, what is the maximum sanctioned amount of loan to other banks' directors without board approval? So RBI has recently modified rules for extending the loans to directors of other banks and their relatives. So as per the new amendment, banks can extend personal loans up to 5 crore rupees to directors of other banks and their relatives other than spouses without board approval. Actually, the earlier limit for such loans was just 25 lakh rupees, and the regulations apply to directors, including the CMD of other banks or any firm in which they are interested as a partner or guarantor, or any company in which they hold their interest. Question number 20. As of March 31st, 2021, what is the worth of total non-performing assets of the banks in India? So the non-performing assets, or you can say it as bad loans of banks, were worth 8.34 lakh crore rupees at the end of 31st of March 2021. So gross loans and advances outstanding of scheduled commercial banks rose to 113.99 lakh crore rupees. So basically NPAs have declined by 61,180 crore rupees from 8.96 lakh crore rupees carried at the end of March 2020, because 9,33,779 crore rupees was the NPA of the banks in, while 9,33,779 crore rupees was the NPA of the banks in the year 2019. Question number 21. What is the minimum financial limit above which Fugitive Economic Offenders Act 2018 is applicable? So this act has been enacted to confiscate all the properties and assets of economic offenders who have been charged of economic offences of over 100 crore rupees and has left India to evade prosecution. What happened is, recently the fugitive economic offender Vijay Mallya has been declared bankrupt by the London High Court for having defaulted Indian banks led by SBI. Question number 22. What is the name of the process where a business sells its invoices to a third party at a discount? So factoring is a financial transaction and a type of debtor finance in which a business sells its account receivable, that is invoices, to a third party which is called as factor at a discount. Why it is in news? Because recently Lok Sabha has passed Factoring Regulation Amendment Bill 2021, and this bill seeks to permit NBFCs, that is non-banking financial companies, other than those whose principal business is factoring, so as to discount invoices on the platform. So actually this will help MSMEs to tackle the problem of delayed payments. Question number 23. As per the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Amendment Bill 2021, what is the maximum default amount to which pre-packed resolution is applicable? Why it is in news? Because recently the Lok Sabha has passed the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Amendment Bill 2021, and this bill will replace the IBC Amendment Ordinance 2021, which was promulgated in April month, and it introduced pre-packs as an insolvency resolution mechanism for MSMEs with defaults up to 1 crore rupees. So your correct answer is option number D. And under a pre-packaged process, main stakeholders identify a prospective buyer and negotiate a resolution plan before approaching to NCLT. What is NCLT? It is National Company Law Tribunal. Question number 24. With reference to SEBI, what is the expansion of SPAC seen in the news sometimes? So SEBI is examining the effective public shareholding in listed companies, and it is also planning to introduce SPACs in the country, and it stands for Special Purpose Acquisition Companies. Actually, it is a type of company with no commercial operations, and it is formed strictly to raise capital through IPO, that is initial public offering, for the purpose of acquiring an existing company. Question number 25. The proposed Development Financial Institution, that is DFI, is to function under the aegis of which Department of Finance Ministry? So DFS under the Union Ministry of Finance has called for name, tagline and logo from the citizens of India for the proposed new Development Financial Institution of India. So this setting up of this DFI for financing infrastructure projects was announced in the Budget 2021, and in this regard the Parliament passed NABFID bill, that is the National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development Bill, in March 2021. So that's it for today. I hope you have liked the session. These were the important news and events from our banking current affairs, and stay tuned for further category wise current affairs. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, Minu Sahadsana signing off.